Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Tony. We're your hosts, and today we have a fun and interesting topic for you, superstitions.
Yes, superstitions. Those strange beliefs that sometimes make us do funny things. Like, have you ever avoided walking under a ladder because you think it's bad luck?
Or maybe you've knocked on wood to avoid jinxing yourself?
Exactly. So, today we're going to talk about superstitions, share some stories, and hear from a few guests about their own experiences.
And remember, we'll keep it simple and easy to understand. So let's get started. Nikki, do you believe in any superstitions?
Well, Tony, I have to admit I'm a bit superstitious. For example, I always throw salt over my left shoulder if I spill some. It's something my grandmother taught me. She said it keeps bad luck away.
That's interesting. For me, I always have to wear my lucky socks when I have something important, like a job interview or a big meeting. I know it sounds silly, but it makes me feel more confident.
Wow, lucky socks. That's great. These little things we do can sometimes make us feel better, even if they don't really change anything.
True. And that's why superstitions can be fun to talk about. They tell us a lot about different cultures and traditions. So, Nikki, do you have any funny stories about superstitions?
Oh, yes, I do. Once, I had a black cat cross my path while I was walking to work. I was so worried because I'd always heard that it meant bad luck. But guess what happened that day?
What happened?
I found a $20 bill on the street. So maybe that black cat was actually good luck for me.
That's hilarious. See, sometimes superstitions can surprise us. For me, there was a time when I broke a mirror and was so scared I'd have 7 years of bad luck, but nothing bad happened. And in fact, I got a promotion at work soon after.
That's a good point, Tony. Superstitions are just beliefs, and they don't control our lives. But they do make for some great stories. Speaking of stories, we have some wonderful guests today who will share their own superstitions and experiences.
Yes, we do. They will tell us about their beliefs and some shocking stories. It's going to be fun, so stay tuned. Now, as promised, we have our first guest who will share their superstitions and stories. Let's welcome Emily to the show.
Hi, Emily. Welcome to the podcast. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Tony. My name is Emily, and I'm from Ireland. I love your podcast.
Thanks, Emily. We're happy to have you here. So, tell us, do you have any superstitions?
Oh, yes, I do. In Ireland, we have a superstition about magpies. If you see one magpie, it's bad luck. But if you see two, it's good luck. We even have a rhyme. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy.
Interesting. Have you ever had any experiences with this superstition?
Yes, I have. Once, I was walking to school and saw just one magpie. I got really nervous because I had an important test that day.
Oh no, what did you do?
I remembered the rhyme and started looking for another magpie. I was so worried that I wouldn't find one, but then I saw a second magpie sitting on a tree. I felt so relieved.
Wow, that must have been a big relief. Did you do well on your test?
Yes, I did. I got a very good grade. So now, every time I see one magpie, I look for a second one to make sure I have good luck.
That's a great story, Emily. Do you have any other superstitions?
Yes, another one is about horseshoes. We believe that if you find a horseshoe and hang it above your door, it will bring good luck. But you have to hang it with the open end up, so the luck doesn't fall out.
That's cool. Have you ever found a horseshoe?
Yes, I did. When I was a child, I found one while playing in a field. My dad helped me hang it above our front door. We had it there for many years.
Did you feel like it brought you good luck?
Yes, I think so. We had many happy years in that house. I believe the horseshoe brought us good luck and happiness.
That's a lovely story, Emily. It's nice to hear how superstitions can bring comfort and joy to people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us, Emily. It was wonderful to hear about your experiences.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
We're glad to hear that. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll have more guests and more stories about superstitions.
We just heard some fascinating stories from Emily about her superstitions with magpies and horseshoes.
Yes, those were great. It's amazing how different cultures have their own unique beliefs. I especially liked the rhyme about the magpies. One for sorrow, two for joy.
Me too. And the horseshoe story was lovely. It's interesting how these objects can hold so much meaning and bring a sense of comfort.
Absolutely. Superstitions often help us feel safe and hopeful. Now, let's move on to our next guest. Let's welcome John to the show.
Hi, John. Thanks for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Nikki and Tony. My name is John and I'm from the United States. I'm excited to be here.
Great to have you, John. So, do you have any superstitions you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I do. One of the biggest superstitions in my family is about the number 13. We believe it's very unlucky.
Ah, the famous unlucky number 13. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. For example, my family never has 13 people at the dinner table. If there are 13, we add an extra seat or invite one more person.
That's interesting. Have you ever experienced anything related to this superstition?
Yes, actually. One time we had a family gathering, and there were 13 of us. My grandma insisted we add an extra chair, even though nobody would sit in it. She said it would keep the bad luck away.
Did anything strange happen that day?
No, everything was fine. But my grandma felt much better with that extra chair there. It's funny how a simple thing like that can make such a difference.
I can understand that. Sometimes these little actions help us feel more at ease.
Exactly. Another superstition we have is about finding a penny on the ground. If it's heads up, you should pick it up because it will bring good luck. But if it's tails up, leave it there.
That's a fun one. Have you found any lucky pennies?
Yes, many times. And I always keep them in a special jar at home. It's my little collection of good luck.
That's a great idea, John. Do you have any stories about finding lucky pennies?
Yes. Once I found a heads-up penny on the way to an important job interview. I picked it up, and I felt much more confident. I ended up getting the job.
That's wonderful. It seems like the penny really did bring you good luck.
Thanks for sharing those stories, John. Do you have any other superstitions?
Yes, one more. We believe that if a bird poops on you, it's actually good luck. It sounds gross, but it's supposed to bring good fortune.
Really? That's an unusual one. Has it ever happened to you?
Yes, it did. Once, a bird pooped on me while I was walking to school. I was so embarrassed, but later that day, I found out I won a small scholarship. So, maybe it was good luck after all.
That's a great story, John. Thank you so much for sharing your superstitions and experiences with us.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
We just heard some interesting stories from John about the number 13 and finding lucky pennies.
Yes, it was fascinating to hear how these superstitions can have such a strong impact on our lives. I especially liked the story about finding the lucky penny before his job interview.
Me too. It's amazing how a little thing like a penny can make a big difference in our confidence. Now, let's move on to our next guest. Let's welcome Sophie to the show.
Hi, Sophie. Thanks for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Sophie, and I'm from Australia.
Great to have you, Sophie. So, do you have any superstitions you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, I had a bad experience with a superstition. In Australia, there's a belief that if you step on a crack in the pavement, you'll have bad luck.
Oh no, that sounds serious. Can you tell us what happened?
Sure. One day, I was walking to school, and I accidentally stepped on a crack. I didn't think much of it at first, but later that day, I had a terrible day.
That sounds tough. What happened?
First, I lost my homework. I had worked really hard on it, but it just disappeared. Then, I tripped and fell in front of my classmates. It was so embarrassing. And finally, I got a bad grade on a test I thought I did well on.
Wow, that's a lot of bad luck for one day. Do you think it was because of the crack?
At the time, I really did. I was convinced that stepping on the crack had caused all those bad things to happen.
That must have been hard to deal with. Did you change your behavior because of it?
Yes, for a long time, I was very careful to avoid stepping on cracks. I would walk around them or jump over them. It was stressful.
I can imagine. It sounds like it took a lot of effort to avoid the cracks.
It did. But eventually, I realized that it was just a superstition. Bad days happen to everyone, and it wasn't because of the crack. I started to relax more and not worry so much about it.
That's good to hear. It's important to remember that superstitions are just beliefs, and they don't control our lives.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing your story, Sophie. It's a good reminder that we don't have to let superstitions rule our lives.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I could share my experience.
We just heard a story from Sophie about her bad experience with the superstition of stepping on a crack in the pavement.
Yes, that was quite an intense story. It really shows how powerful these beliefs can be, even when they aren't based on anything real.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that superstitions are just that, superstitions. They don't control our lives and we shouldn't let them make us anxious.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to our last guest. Let's welcome Alex to the show.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Nikki and Tony. My name is Alex, and I'm from Canada.
Great to have you, Alex. So, do you have any superstitions you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I do. In Canada, there's a common superstition that if you see a spider in the morning, it means bad luck for the rest of the day.
Oh, that's interesting. Have you ever had an experience with this superstition?
Yes, I have. One morning, I saw a spider in my bathroom. I was really scared because I'd always heard it meant bad luck.
That must have been unsettling. What happened next?
Well, that day was one of the worst days I've ever had. First, I missed my bus to work. Then I spilled coffee all over my shirt. And to top it off, I got a flat tire on my way home.
That sounds like a really rough day. Do you think it was because of the spider?
At the time, I really did. I was convinced that seeing the spider in the morning had caused all those bad things to happen.
I can see why you'd think that. Did it change how you felt about spiders?
Yes, for a while, I was very nervous about seeing spiders in the morning. I would check my bathroom every day to make sure there were no spiders.
That must have been stressful. How did you overcome that fear?
Over time, I realized that bad days happen to everyone, and it wasn't because of the spider. I started to understand that superstitions are just beliefs and don't actually affect what happens in our lives.
That's a good realization, Alex. It's important to remember that we can't let superstitions control our lives.
Exactly. Now, I don't worry so much about seeing spiders. I still don't like them, but I know they don't bring bad luck.
That's a great perspective. Thank you for sharing your story, Alex. It's a good reminder to keep things in perspective.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I could share my experience.
We've had such an interesting episode today, hearing all about different superstitions from our wonderful guests.
Yes, we've heard stories about magpies, horseshoes, the number 13, stepping on cracks, and spiders. It's amazing how many different superstitions there are around the world.
Absolutely. Now, let's do a quick recap of some of the key points and vocabulary we've learned today.
Great idea, Tony. The first word we learned is superstition. A superstition is a belief that certain actions or events can bring good or bad luck.
Yes, and an example of a superstition is believing that seeing a black cat brings bad luck. Let's say the word together. Superstition.
Superstition. The next word is luck. Luck is the force that brings good fortune or adversity. For example, finding a penny heads up is considered good luck.
That's right. And bad luck would be something like stepping on a crack and having a bad day. Let's say the word luck.
Luck. The third word is ritual. A ritual is a set of actions performed for a symbolic or traditional reason. For example, John's family added an extra chair at the dinner table to avoid bad luck from having 13 people.
Yes, and Sophie buried the pieces of a broken mirror under a full moon to break bad luck. Let's say the word ritual.
Ritual. The next word is belief. A belief is something you accept as true. Superstitions are based on beliefs that certain things will bring good or bad outcomes.
Exactly. For example, Emily's belief that seeing two magpies brings good luck. Let's say the word belief.
Belief. Another word is confidence. Confidence is the feeling of being sure about your abilities. For example, John felt more confident going into his job interview after finding a lucky penny.
Yes, confidence can come from believing in something positive. Let's say the word confidence.
Confidence. The sixth word is magpie. A magpie is a bird belonging to the crow family, characterized by its black and white plumage and long tail.
That's right. Let's say the word magpie.
Magpie. And finally, the last word is fortune. Fortune means luck, especially good luck. For example, Alex had a good fortune when he found out he won a scholarship after a bird pooped on him.
Yes, sometimes fortune can come in unexpected ways. Let's say the word fortune.
Fortune. We hope these words and examples help you understand superstitions better and improve your English vocabulary.
Remember, superstitions are just beliefs, and it's important not to let them control our lives, but they do make for some great stories.
Definitely. And that's what makes learning about them so much fun. Thanks for joining us today.
We've had a great time today talking about superstitions and hearing some amazing stories from our guests.
Yes, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Remember, practicing English every day is the key to improving your skills.
That's right. And listening to our podcast is a great way to practice. We're here to help you learn and have fun at the same time.
So, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, give us a like, and share it with your friends.
Yes, the more you listen, the more you'll learn. We appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more interesting topics and stories.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember to listen to learn English with podcast every day.
We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.